Our gospel today tells us that Jesus went throughout the countryside, calling people to follow him, teaching and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom of God, and healing many illnesses among the people. And that is a wonderful way to describe the mission of the church. No matter what happens in the wider world, the church is the church. We have a vital mission of proclaiming and living love in this world. And we are here to take counsel for the mission of the church. So let's talk about how the church does its mission. We form disciples. We invite others into a relationship with Christ. We address the illnesses not only of individual people, but of our wider world. We work toward healing, justice, reconciliation with God and among the community around us. We labor to create a better life for all. That's what we're about in the Church of Jesus Christ. That's what we're about in the Episcopal Church, and that's what we're about in the Episcopal Diocese of San Diego. Before I talk more about what's happening in our diocese, let me say a few words about our wider Episcopal Church. Now, overall, our denomination has been in decline for years, and I believe that we haven't been foresighted or strategic enough to take the steps that we need to address that decline. And it is worth addressing, because I believe the Episcopal Church is a beautiful gift to the world. We offer a sacramental reverence in worship that believes that Christ is truly present with us and lives that out in the world. We reach out to our neighbors with kindness and compassion. We proclaim the inclusive, all-encompassing love of God in Christ. We do our best to live the way of love. I appreciate our beloved former presiding bishop, Michael Curry, for bringing the priorities of evangelism, racial reconciliation, and creation care to the forefront, and passionately preaching the way of love, as he did with us at our Good News Festival a couple of years ago. I appreciate the well over 1,000 deputies and bishops who gather every 3 years for General Convention and take counsel for the mission of the church, including our EDSD deputation from General Convention this past summer. And I'm excited about our new presiding bishop, Sean Rowe, who is a strategic and focused leader who I believe will be able to take the priorities that we have identified and help us focus on ways to meet our challenges together. To quote what he said in his investiture sermon last Saturday, "We are one church in Jesus Christ. God has given us the ability to share our resources and talents and invest in ministry happening on the ground, ministry in which everyday faithful people, Christians all around the world, are building communities, advocating for justice, and saving lives. Your ministries and your communities where you are doing the work of unbinding, of liberating, of being the risen body of Christ in the world. Friends, the kingdom of God is near, right here, right now." End quote. I thank God for these inspiring words and for the work that God is calling the Episcopal Church to do in this world with God's beloved people. Now, on to the Episcopal Diocese of San Diego. I am proud of our diocese. We're a small to medium-sized diocese in the Episcopal Church as measured by numbers of congregations, but we are a diocese that is doing great things all out of proportion to our size. We have visions, we are dreaming bold dreams, and we are imagining new ways of being God's people in the world. We make a priority of serving our congregations in this diocese, and our busy diocesan staff is always on the go, meeting with congregations, leading classes and workshops, and doing our best to bring you what you need for ministry. In our books, that is the most important thing we do, supporting you, our local congregations, where most of Christ's mission work happens. We love visiting you, supporting you, and marveling at the things you're doing, from feeding programs to joyful evangelism. And we seek out ways to strengthen your congregations and empower you for your mission. And I'm proud to say that what we are able to do to support congregations and follow Jesus in pursuing the mission of the church, we managed to do on a very low common life share, only 10.5%. Now, I know it's easy to complain about paying common life share to the diocese, but both of the other dioceses that I've served have 17% assessment rates, which I'd say is close to the norm church-wide. I've heard of several dioceses that have 22% assessment rates. Ours is almost the lowest I've ever heard of in any diocese, and yet on a very lean budget, plus targeting fundraising for major initiatives, we're able to accomplish a lot, as you're about to hear. I think it's remarkable what we're able to do. With God, all things are possible. So thank you for your commitment to our common life share, which is truly a commitment to our mission together in this diocese. We are currently on year 4 of our 5-year Courageous Love strategic plan. It is a bold plan that commits to some courageous risk-taking for the sake of the gospel. Jesus never said we were supposed to be safe and comfortable. He said to take courageous, loving steps for the sake of God's kingdom. He said to follow him, and he would help us fish for people. So let's talk about our dreams, our priorities, and how we are fishing for people here in the Episcopal Diocese of San Diego. Our Courageous Love fundraising campaign, which we launched last year, organized our strategic vision into 3 broad categories: growing our church, strengthening our congregations, and serving our neighbors. First, growing our church. Clearly, when we started work on the Courageous Love strategic plan in 2019, we didn't expect a pandemic to come along and interrupt our mission and shut down our world. And of course, all of our churches suffered from the pandemic. But in 2024, I'm glad to say that I'm seeing some very hopeful signs of growth and recovery and new vitality. Naturally, many of our congregations haven't recovered to pre-pandemic attendance levels, but some have, and some are well on their way. We are seeing growth and vitality, sometimes to well above pre-pandemic levels, in large and small congregations, in urban, suburban, and rural ones, in congregations with varying levels of diversity. In congregations where we see amazing growth happening include, this is not all of them, but they include congregations as different from each other as, for instance, St. Dunstan's in San Diego, St. Andrew's in Lake Elsinore, St. Thomas in Temecula, the Church of St. Paul in Palm Springs, Grace San Marcos, St. Luke's, and more. The things that these thriving congregations seem to have in common are a commitment to loving God and loving our neighbors, committed, strong clergy and lay leadership who work as a team, a real sense of seeking to discern God's will for the church, a desire to understand the needs of the community and how best to partner with others to meet those needs creatively, a willingness to innovate and try new things, and more than anything else, a sense of joy and care for one another and the church. These seem to be ingredients of vitality that any church can adopt. So feel free to ask someone from these churches what's going on and find out what they have to say. Speaking of growing congregations, I want to offer special congratulations to All Saints Vista, which has been an action plan parish for about 8 years, a designation that we give to parishes when they have particular challenges that the diocese can partner with them and help them address. All Saints Vista has done great work over the last 8 years, and I'm glad to say that this year, the Standing Committee and I together restored them to full parish status. So is there a delegation? Stand up. All Saints Vista, stand up. Congratulations. All Saints Vista is an example of a small congregation with steady growth due to good leadership, dedicated outreach efforts to the community, and a solid sense of mission to the people of their neighborhood. We are really glad to see what's going on there. Like All Saints, there are many small congregations who may be adding a few people to their church each year, but that's great. Just think if your congregation has 20 people in worship on Sunday and you add 2 in a year, that's a 10% growth rate. That is awesome. Hey, I mean it. There is a lot to be proud of in our congregations. And of course, not all of our congregations have sprung back to pre-pandemic levels for a variety of reasons, and we want to support all of our congregations in finding their own calling, their own niche, their own ways of fishing for people, as Jesus put it. That's why we have some programs in the Growing Our Church area to help with that. We have a fund in our Courageous Love Strategic Plan Fund for evangelism grants. And so this year we were able to offer a $30,000 evangelism grant to St. Luke's. St. Luke's is starting a network of place-based community groups affiliated with the congregation. They're recruiting, equipping, and supporting 10 young adult mission apprentices in working 2 by 2 to launch 5 neighborhood groups among Sudanese, Congolese, and Ugandan American and other nearby communities over the next year. Exciting. Can't wait to see how that works out. We are offering evangelism classes. We've had 40 participants from 29 congregations. And just note, evangelism is one of those words that people don't like to say in the Episcopal Church, and all it means is good news. We have good news to share. That is evangelism. Let's share it. In military ministries, we have 13 congregations participating in meetings to talk about how to reach out to the military community. In campus ministries, I'm glad to say that the Episcopal Church now has a presence at 3 of our large universities, at SDSU, at UCSD, and at Cal State San Marcos. And here, yeah, let's do it. Yay. So we have a video to show you what's happening if you'll look at the screens.
I'm on my way to campus right now, where Agape San Diego is known as the nice people with free pizza. What a wonderful way to start a conversation with people wherever they are on their journey of faith. Come and see.
So as we wrap up another great year at San Diego State University, we celebrate a lot of young adults now who have experienced caring community, carrying that forward in their life in other places to live, to continue their studies, to serve community and build community wherever they go. This is what's possible because of the support from Pacifica Synod and the Episcopal Diocese of San Diego. So thank you.
Agape San Diego is a beautiful place that makes me feel welcome and cherished. And like my little comments mean something in this world. After 70 years of combining resources, Agape San Diego provide a space where anyone, no matter where you are on your journey, faith-based, can find somewhere to just exist and be. I'm always on the go and just passing by, and one of the biggest things that they always express is, do you need to eat? Do you need to rest? Do you just need to be? And it means something having people providing that, pushing that for you. They care more about you and your health than who you are as a student, what you can bring to this campus. How can they bring life to you? And I really, really just thrive off of that. With the support of local congregations and local faith-based organizations and people like you, Agape has built a brave space and a place for people to work on parts of themselves that they might not know about yet. Especially talking about the retreat that we went on, coming together and sharing that bond, sharing the sense of you are not alone, of healing, of finding yourself, allowing space to find yourself. That is, it's grand. You can't pay for it, you know, and it's crazy to think about, but there aren't many places out here that are just offering space. Just offer a space. Every Wednesday, I come here to allow myself to take a break, take a breath, and reflect midweek.
Living into Jesus' charge to give rest to the weary and food to the hungry, Agape San Diego has expanded ministry onto the campus of UC San Diego. Serving students on a weekly basis, we are members of the Center for Ethics and Spirituality, where we offer an open and affirming Protestant ministry of presence. College is hard. This liminal season of social and emotional growth can be a time to wrestle with spirituality as well. Following Jesus' example, we sit with students, faculty, and staff as they continue to discern their role in the fabric of life.
Hello everyone, my name is Destiny Sanchez Lopez. I'm the new CSUSM campus missioner. This new campus ministry seeks to establish a Christian community of students through worship, discipleship, and service. My experience so far has been so great, and I have held several small studies, and I'm working on making this campus ministry an official club on campus to have better connections and be better equipped to reach as many students as possible. I look forward to seeing how this campus ministry grows, and I appreciate the faith you all have had in me for being the start of something so wonderful.
This year, I wonder how we can work together to introduce the life and ministry of Jesus on these campuses. Maybe it's for St. Francis Day and a pet blessing. Maybe it's Ashes to Go, or foot washing on Maundy Thursday, an interfaith text swap, or a Bible study, or something we haven't even thought of yet. The sky is the limit. At the beginning of the year, our diocese hosted campus ministry at one university. Through vision and dedication, now we're on 3. Please find us in the parish hall to talk about how you and your community can support our work together as we serve students in this pivotal time in their lives. Join us, won't you, as we continue to share the love of Jesus on these campuses.
We're delighted to be expanding our campus ministries in these ways, and we believe that walking along these young people at one of the most crucial decision-making times of their lives is vital for them, for their faith journey in the years to come, and for the church. In Latino ministry, we are supporting the development of Latino ministries with significant financial commitments at St. Matthew's National City and at St. Peter and Paul in El Centro, while we continue our financial support of 2 of our other strong multicultural congregations, St. John's Indio and St. Andrew's Lake Elsinore. We are proud of the work that these congregations do in their surrounding communities, and we are glad to support them. And we are now exploring the possibility of developing a new Latino ministry in the Bonita Otay Mesa area, centered at Good Shepherd Bonita. And we are very grateful for the vision and leadership that is making that possible there. So stay tuned to see what happens. We are proud of our other multicultural congregations too, including St. Philip's Lemon Grove, St. Luke's North Park, St. Paul's Yuma, St. Albans El Cajon, and other new efforts starting up at St. Mary's Ramona, St. John's Chula Vista, and Trinity Escondido. Thank you all for the ways that you bring the love of Jesus Christ to your communities through word and action. I think it's very cool that on any given Sunday, you might find worship in EDSD in a variety of languages: English, Spanish, Ilocano, Karenni, Swahili, Dinka, Arabic, or French, any of those. In church planting, we have new missions in progress at St. Bridget's Oceanside and Resurrection Ocean Beach. Both of these new churches are located in thriving, busy communities with many people who could benefit from hearing the good news of Christ as the Episcopal Church has received it and shares it through our worship and ministry. So at St. Bridget's Oceanside, the Reverend Brian Peterson is leading a church that is reaching out to the community in new and exciting ways. For instance, one day a large family of Venezuelan immigrants walked into a church service, and because it's a church plant without ingrained traditions, Reverend Brian was able to immediately adjust the service to become bilingual. That is something that most established churches can't do, and it's an example of why church planting is important. It allows us to be flexible and to respond to the needs of the community. And since then, St. Bridget's has helped that family find food and housing, that the family's become a regular attender at their congregation, and they've baptized several of their children. At Resurrection Ocean Beach, A leadership team led by Canon Jason Evans is already making a difference to its community in some beautiful ways, as you heard in my sermon. That's why we plant new churches, to reach people who live in those communities, to transform the lives of people who need to hear the good news of Christ as the Episcopal Church shares it. Each congregation is a mission outpost in the town or community where it's located, putting out branches, touching the lives of people there, becoming rooted in the local context. That's what it has historically meant to be a parish in the Anglican tradition, an integral part of the wider community, a leader in the community, and a partner in addressing the needs and hopes and visions of the people there. Our goal in EDSD is to support every congregation in being a parish in that old-fashioned, traditional Anglican sense of the word, so that we can make sure there is a committed mission, Episcopal mission outpost in all the communities of our diocese. So that's what we're up to in the area of growing our church. The second category of mission is strengthening our congregations. The local congregation, for the most part, is where the mission of God's church happens. So we make a priority of serving and strengthening our congregations with resources, leadership, support, and guidance. That's why we have a strong mission team that serves you, including support in the areas of finance, human resources, communications, Christian formation, border ministries, multicultural ministries, mission real estate, and more. That's also why we offer significant operating financial support to 3 thriving multicultural congregations that are making a difference in their local context, as I mentioned already. We also offer property grants to many more of our mission and app congregations that wouldn't have the capacity to care for their properties on their own. So this year, Good Shepherd Hemet, St. Andrews Lake Elsinore, St. Hugh's Idlewild, and St. Matthew's National City have received property grants totaling $36,000. We work closely with our congregations in transition, and we have a very good success rate at helping our congregations find new clergy in a time of a church-wide clergy shortage, even in a high cost of living location like ours, through committed recruiting and careful guidance of search processes. We have a flourishing youth ministry across the diocese, so shout out to the youth who are here today as voting representatives. And a special shout out to their intrepid leader, Charlotte Pressler. We've held 8 youth events this year with 174 participants from across the diocese, from small and large congregations. We offer training for formation leaders in congregations, from small children to youth leaders. And many formation opportunities in this diocese are aimed at increasing social justice and racial understanding, like Sacred Ground, the LARC program, which stands for Localized Anti-Racism Knowledge, and the new Know Yourself course. We offer communications training to congregations, including hands-on help with website and social media communications. And 24 of our congregations have participated in such training. Over 1/4 of our churches participated in a photography training this past spring, and I've heard rave reviews. Shout out to Susan Forsberg back there, our diocesan photographer. One participant in that workshop said, "I cannot stop telling people how good this workshop was, seriously, and I'm already using what I learned to improve my work. Super useful, thank you." You can look forward to a shortened version of this training at Leadership Academy in 2025. And we're working hard on leadership development. Both lay and ordained leadership are vital to our congregations, and we're offering development opportunities in both areas. We have supported 2 of our mission congregations in sending lay clergy teams to the College for Congregational Development, and we expect to send 2 more mission congregations to participate over the next 2 years. Parishes are also welcome to send teams. This is an Episcopal program that unfolds over 2 summers, 1 week each, and teaches teams a variety of congregational development strategies to support them and to increase their growth, health, and vitality. Our teams that have participated so far, St. Thomas Temecula and St. Mary's Ramona, have reported great learnings that they've put to immediate use. So please ask Ken and Gwen for more information if you're interested. Our diocese also has 17 people with a variety of ages and ethnic backgrounds who are currently in our ordination process, which is a high number for us, a high point since I've been here. It is very encouraging to see the number of people hearing God's call to become deacons and priests and responding in faith. And here I get to do a special shout out to Archdeacon Cindy Campos for her great work in sharing the good news of God's call to deacons across our diocese. Our mission real estate program is also a very important way that we are serving and strengthening our congregations. Jessica Ripper is currently working with 11 or is it 15? 15. 11, well, it's a number of congregations. I thought it was 11 and then something said 15 yesterday. Anyway, there are a lot of congregations working on this who are in some phase of the Mission Real Estate Development Program, which leverages a generous grant from Trinity Wall Street, along with diocesan resources from the Courageous Love campaign, to help congregations with community discernment and feasibility studies to determine how best to use extra real estate not currently used by the church. I've established 3 values that I want our real estate work to fulfill. 1, meeting a true community need, like affordable housing, workforce housing, affordable childcare, etc. 2, bringing in financial resources to sustain the long-term mission of the church. And 3, building something that can be an active ministry partner for the local congregation. St. Luke's North Park, as you heard yesterday, is the furthest along in this process due to the visionary leadership of their clergy and vestry. And we hope a developer will break ground next year on this wonderful project that they're planning for their neighborhood. Congratulations, St. Luke's, and thank you for your commitment to your community. We are proud that Jessica Ripper has been able to negotiate with the developer there to add some real ministry partnership potential to the project for St. Luke's. We can't wait to see it get started. Our 3rd category of mission is serving our neighbors. Jesus commanded us to love God and love our neighbors, and we love them through ministries of evangelism and service. Of course, most of the amazing service work that happens across our diocese happens in local congregations. At least a quarter of our congregations have feeding ministries of one kind or another, and feeding ministries in congregations as diverse and far apart as St. John's Indio, St. Andrew's Encinitas, St. Paul's Yuma, and St. Peter's Del Mar have seen sometimes a 25% to 50% increase in the number of people they're serving. We also serve people across our diocese with feeding, showers, mail, and other kind of services, all in the many congregations of our diocese, as well as our diocesan center. Our Courageous Love Fund has money for service grants to congregations who have visions for how better to serve their neighbors. So if you need startup money for a new project, a new service project for your community, please contact Ken and Jason. So far, we've given $10,000 to one congregation, St. John's Fallbrook, for 2 different visionary projects. The first is ESL classes that allow a dozen or more parents to upgrade their English capacity, leading to higher education or employment opportunities. And the second is a care group for mothers with spouses stationed at Camp Pendleton that provides a Christ-centered environment in which mothers with young children can take a break from family duties, find community, and enhance their mental and spiritual well-being. So thank you to St. John's for those visionary projects. In the new year, we will be starting a new coalition on homelessness to help resource our congregations as they minister with our unhoused neighbors. So please keep an eye on the EDSD news for a way to show whether you're interested in serving on this task force. Our migration missioner, Robert Vivar, is doing incredible work with people who have left their homelands and taken great risks to come to a strange new land. You heard his report yesterday and how he brings people together from across the diocese to serve those in poverty and despair. Thank you, Robert. And as you know, I am pleased to announce that we are working hard to open our Community of Light, Comunidad de Luz, migrant shelter for women and children in Tijuana. If you were at convention last year, you heard me describe the amazing miracle that God brought about when an Episcopalian in one of our churches approached Robert and offered us the use of a building in Tijuana for a migrant shelter, including the use of a beautiful chapel on the top floor that you see here, which our Anglican Church siblings in Tijuana are now using for worship. We realize that many migrants get as far as Tijuana and realize they may not ever get into the U.S. Our asylum laws are too strict, or they may already have been deported and can't come back. But they can't go back home. Their lives are in danger where they came from, which is why they made the perilous journey to come there. They need to start a new life, probably right there in Tijuana. Our vision for this shelter is that we will provide not only a safe, clean, secure place for the most vulnerable of migrants, women and children, to stay, which is so uncommon for migrants to be able to find, but also provide hope so that migrants can begin again in their new home. We've put together a team of partners to meet all kinds of needs: job training for the women, education for the children, pastoral care and worship for all, provided by the Anglican Church in Tijuana, medical care, trauma-informed psychological care for a group of people who are the most vulnerable, most taken advantage of migrants, and so on. Our partners include not only the Anglican Church in Tijuana, but also Wiederhoven, our Episcopal-supported orphanage nonprofit with great expertise in child development in Tijuana, and a wonderful San Diego nonprofit called Via International, which has decades of experience doing job training for women in Tijuana. We have done a lot of work to get Community of Light up and running. We've identified a director for the shelter, we've done building remodeling and legal setup work. We've received a generous startup grant from a private foundation to get the operations going. And we're ready, if everything goes according to plan, to be open for our first residents early in the new year. So please pray for this life-transforming ministry. Our Eucharist offering today went to this project, and if you would like to add your gift to those already given, there's a QR code up there on the screen or in the bulletin at the offertory, the Eucharist bulletin, that will help you do just that.
Imagine arriving in a city with nothing but hope, only to find yourself stuck at the border with nowhere to turn. For countless migrant women and children in Tijuana, this is their reality. In early 2025, the Episcopal Diocese of San Diego, in partnership with the Anglican Diocese of Western Mexico, Via International, and Wiederhoven, will open a new shelter in Tijuana called Comunidad de Luz, Community of Light. This new shelter in southern Tijuana offers more than just a bed for the night. This space is designed to serve up to 100 women and children in need. It's a place where trauma meets healing, where hope finds a home. Families will receive job training, psychological care, and a safe space for children to grow. It's about helping women build new skills and offering kids the stability they deserve. This Christmas, you can make Comunidad de Luz a true home. Join the There's Room at the Inn campaign. Your gift can provide essential services from meals and job training to school uniforms and a fresh start. Together, we can make a difference, because when we create space for those seeking refuge, we share the love of Christ in action. Visit edsd.org/border to learn more.
And now I would like to give you an update on the Courageous Love campaign. At last year's 50th anniversary convention, we announced a fundraising campaign to help finance the bold and courageous vision of our diocese. The Courageous Love campaign has a stretch goal of $2.5 million. And I'm glad to say that we've made significant progress on this goal, thanks to generous contributions from congregations and individuals in our diocese. So as far as congregations, we'd like to give special thanks to St. Paul's Cathedral and All Souls Point Loma for their generous commitments, and also to Good Shepherd Bonita, St. David's, and St. Andrew's Encinitas for their partnership. We are very grateful for your participation in this vision for our diocese. In addition to contributions, we've received grants, several grants toward our goal for church planting work, our mission real estate work, and our Community of Light project in Tijuana. And we believe we will likely receive additional grants in the coming year. Our total raise so far is $1.6 million, and with additional grants, we expect to bring the total to somewhere between $2 and $2.2 million in the coming year. We're coming quite close to our $2.5 million goal, which is not bad for the first year of a 3-year campaign. If you are inspired by this vision, if you want to be a part of this vision for the future of the Episcopal Church in Southern California and Arizona, please join many other committed donors in giving to the Courageous Love Fund. You can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can visit edsd.org/give. And let me say again, thank you. Thank you for seeing God's vision for our diocese and participating in it. Thank you for your commitment to God's dream for the Episcopal Church. Each year, I like to declare a particular area of ministry focus for our diocese. So we have already celebrated the year of discipleship, the year of evangelism, the year of service, and this year is the year of leadership, when, among other things, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the ordination of women to the priesthood. And now I believe it is time to start the cycle over. Discipleship is at the heart of everything we do in the church. It takes committed disciples to do God's work in the church and in the world. The College for Congregational Development has a foundational model for the mission of the church called Gather, Transform, Send. We gather people for worship. Through our mission, or through our worship and our ministry, God transforms people's minds and hearts. And then we send them out into the world to be salt and yeast and light for the world. We talk often in the church about how we gather and also about how we send people out. But sometimes we skip over the part in the middle. How are we transforming people? How is the ministry of the church transforming hearts and minds and helping people become disciples of Jesus Christ? That is, after all, what he said is the most important thing in the Great Commission, to go and make disciples. Since everything we do in the church and everything the church does in the world is based on our spiritual life and our willingness to follow Jesus, 2025 will once again be the year of discipleship. And we have some exciting plans for developing discipleship across the diocese for all ages. Just as a sample, for children, we'll have the Salt and Light Epiphany Camp for grades 3 to 6 in January. We'll have advanced godly play training. We'll have PATH, our diocesan vacation Bible school curriculum, that once again will be freely available to any congregation. For youth, we will continue our hybrid youth confirmation program for youth across the diocese. We have our Epiphany retreat for grades 6 to 12, our Night Watch retreat for Lent. We have our summer youth mission trip, and we are exploring the development of regional youth groups, so stay tuned for that. For adults, mark your calendars for Leadership Academy on March 1st, featuring leadership development in the areas of welcoming, foundations, and storytelling. Our Faith to Go podcast continues, and we will have a special feature for Lent. If you haven't yet discovered Faith to Go, it is a sermon prep and lectionary resource that every week records a discussion about the gospel for the upcoming Sunday, and I listen to it most weeks. We have our LARC and our Knowing Yourself programs that will be offered again next year. And we will offer a summer Bible study called Toward a Fuller Gospel, a Zoom series engaging with Scripture through the lens of Episcopal leaders from many different cultural and ethnic backgrounds. We are currently building out our website with a series of resources for developing adult discipleship in your congregation. So please watch the e-news as those things emerge. We also will be offering training and certification for lay catechists. I invite you to sign up, if you haven't already, for our diocesan newsletter at edsd.org/subscribe so that you can keep track of all the amazing offerings. And be sure to read all the great stories from 2024 in your annual EDSD magazine. And more than anything, I invite you to use this year of discipleship to go deeper in prayer and worship. And use this coming year to ask God how you are being called to new life and new transformation in Christ. That's the Jesus who walks along the shore, who approaches each one of us and extends an invitation. Come, follow me, and I will make you fish for people. So come, let's follow him. Let's fish for God's beloved people throughout this Southern California and Arizona region, so that together, with God's help, we can make disciples for Jesus who can help transform the world. Thank you for being here.